watching KCCI 8 News.
Right now at 5, rising rivers, flooded roads, a whole lot of closures, and even some cleanup. It's been a busy day across central Iowa. We have you covered tonight. Our teammate coverage begins with Steve Carlin live. Steve?
Well, Stacy, we've got a lot coming up for you tonight. I'm here at 63rd, which is also Iowa Highway 28. And the bridge here that spans 63rd, there is a monitoring station for the Raccoon River on this bridge. The stage at this river right now, at this particular point, is 36.76 feet. Now, flood stage here is 36 feet. So it is rising, and it is a slow rise. And businesses and neighbors are reacting to this flooding, and we'll hear from them coming up. Plus, we do have a live interview coming up with West Des Moines City Manager Tom Haddon. He's just been filling me in on a whole bunch of stuff. But first, we need to go to KCCI's Rose Heafy. She has the latest from inside the Polk County Emergency Management Headquarters. Rose?
Yes, I'm here at the Operations Center for Emergency Management for Polk County. Joining me right now is the Director, A.J. Mumm. You've been out there looking at seeing what the crews are doing. What can you tell us is going on right now?
Well, right now we're sort of making that transition from the flash flooding that we saw most of the morning into the early afternoon into prepping for the river flood, which the Raccoon, and we're expecting that crest tomorrow afternoon. But there's a lot of work that's being done right now, especially in West Des Moines and Des Moines, to make sure that that flood water stays as much in the levee system as possible.
And as we continue in the next couple of days, what should people know about so that they make sure everything is safe?
Well, we always say 3 things. Number 1 is to have a plan. So if that plan is for your pets and your kids and others in it, if that's a cell phone, make sure your cell phone's charged. Those things we recommend that that's being done all the time. And then most importantly, stay informed, whether it's the broadcast media, local apps, NOAA Weather Radio, a lot of ways to stay informed. So those are the 3 things we ask people to do.
All right, absolutely, AJ. Well, thank you so much for the update. Now, Stacy is back in the studio. Stacy, what can you tell us?
Okay, Rose, thanks. One area of the city of Des Moines is watching very closely is Fleur Drive. That road was closed earlier this afternoon. The river levels there are expected to crest about 2 feet below record levels. KCCI's Kim St. Ange has been watching the waters at Fleur. Kim, what's the latest there?
Stacey, water from the rising Raccoon River right behind me has already spilled onto Fleur Drive, covering parts of both the north and southbound lanes here. That has forced Fleur Drive to close from MLK to Bell. Just to give you an idea of the levels here, the current level is just under 18, so that's actually gone up in just the last couple of hours or so. The flood stage is 12. The river here at Fleur Drive, the Raccoon, is expected to crest at around 23 feet. That's expected to happen around 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So someone who's been watching that very closely and really all day is Bruce Braun with the Des Moines Public Works. So first of all, let's just talk about the latest with Fleur Drive.
Okay, right now we closed Fleur Drive down at about noon today because, as you can see, water coming out of the intakes there made it unsafe for the public to use. So during that time, we've also been putting in closures in our levees so that water couldn't get through where the roadways were. For instance, at George Flake Parkway, just down the road here, we put in a aluminum closure that the Des Moines Waterworks worked with us to get in, and that was put in at about noon also. So we've got this buttoned up well so that the water that does come across from the Raccoon into Fleur does not spread over to the areas that have businesses and residents.
What are some of the maybe bigger areas of concern around Des Moines right now?
Well, the biggest area right now is the Fleur Drive area. We are also looking at 63rd Street and Railroad. If the river levels get to where they're predicting, we may have to put in a levee closure across 63rd just south of Railroad. So we'll determine that based on our forecast that we get later on this evening.
And just to mention, Bruce was telling me a few minutes ago, actually, that this area of Fleur Drive could have to remain closed for the next several days. I think you said you were hoping to get it open by maybe Sunday or Monday.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, we want to thank you, Bruce, and I do want to mention real quickly, I have some new information for you that involves Waterworks Park and how flooding is affecting that area. I'll bring you that in just a little bit when you check back in with us. Stacy?
Okay, Kim, thank you so much. Now, Fleur Drive is a main north-south artery in and out of downtown Des Moines, and with that stretch of road closed, it is causing some traffic backups in other areas. This is a live picture right now. This is actually 7th Street and Indianola Road. Traffic is so busy, we've seen an officer in that intersection trying to direct traffic for the folks who are leaving downtown. Drivers also saw a big mess at 63rd and Grand earlier this morning. Business owners and residents were dealing with a whole lot of water. Let's check back in with Steve, who's just south of that intersection. He's at 63rd and the river.
That's right, Stacy. Just about a mile south of there, and we were up there at 63rd and Grand earlier today. The roads, both Grand Avenue and 63rd Street, they are open now. But as you said, it was a big mess earlier today, and KCCI's Stephanie Nolte has that story.
That's cool.
All of this water the Walnut Creek left on Grand Avenue and 62nd Street may look cool to some, but it's causing a headache for many others.
This is just wild to see. I can't believe it.
Pizza Hut had over an inch of water on their floors this morning.
From what I can see, there's going to be tile damage, probably freezers, coolers, obviously some food damage.
Walnut Creek flooded cars near 63rd and Grand, but it didn't spill over the floodgates a block away at Ashworth.
I talked with Public Works yet again, and we believe that it's already peaked and it should be coming down.
Des Moines City Manager Scott Sanders had to come out here to see the flooding for himself.
It was clear it was going to be an interesting day with the amount of rain that we got.
And here in Clive, near Greenbelt Park, the Walnut Creek completely flooded this church parking lot, swamping a number of lease return vehicles Willis Auto had parked here.
These apartments off 75th and University in Clive underwater, as well as University Photo.
We're just totally unexpected, so our first order of business is to get everything unplugged and off the ground.
As fast as we get it dry, it's coming back in.
He says they'll be here quite a while, cleaning up the damage from 6 inches of water that got inside. Stephanie Nolte, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
Back out here at 63rd Street at the Raccoon River Bridge, I'm joined now by West Des Moines City Manager Tom Haddon. And Tom, you've had a very busy day. Why don't you tell us the most important thing that you can tell people right now?
Well, we've done a good job preparing. We've talked to our businesses, and any residents are impacted. But I will say, if there's road closures, of course, you've heard this over and over. It's very serious to be driving in water. It doesn't take much to float a vehicle, and so please obey those. And there are going to be some road closures. You know, we're hoping that we don't have to close Highway 28 or 63rd later tonight, but we're keeping an eye on it. We'll be prepared to do so.
So we look right up here at Railroad Avenue and the railroad crossing there. You already have heavy equipment there, and they're ready to move, aren't they?
Right. We got the dirt ready, and we'll join those levees together if necessary. The peak is still supposed to go a half foot over the 2008 record. Maybe it was higher than that, so maybe it'll come down, and I think it's not going to hit till tomorrow afternoon, so it gives us time to prepare.
Okay, and you were saying if we did not have the levee system in place following the flood of 93, Valley Junction would be in big trouble.
Well, when it hits the peak, yeah, there could be 4 or 5 feet of water, and the whole section of Valley Junction will be under that much water, yes.
Okay, Tom Haddon, West Des Moines City Manager. So we have learned from the flood of 93. Now we're going to continue to be out here tonight along 63rd and in other parts of Des Moines Live. But for now, let's go back to the studio and Stacy.
All right, Steve, thank you. To the west, officials are watching river levels in Dallas County. KCCI Cynthia Photo shows us flooding west of there on Highway 69 between Adel and DeSoto.
Here along Highway 169, I'm told crews worked frantically this morning to try to pull this heavy equipment up to dry land, but the water was coming up way too fast.
Oh, I would say it's raised 3 feet since 6 this morning.
Dave Moore of DeSoto delivers concrete to this bridge replacement project and showed us pictures he took as the river came out of its banks. You can see it completely devoured major construction equipment that was setting on land here last night.
I could see the sandbar underneath that bridge last night when I came home, and it rose pretty quick.
How would you describe the rain last night you were hearing?
Heavy. heavy for a long time.
Dallas County saw the heaviest downpour in the state, more than 7 inches, causing the North Raccoon River to swallow up one huge crane, a couple of bulldozers, and several metal storage containers. The DOT says United Construction out of Johnston had been working here.
I don't know, but I'm guessing over $100,000. Every piece of equipment out here is probably over $100,000.
A DOT spokesperson tells me they won't know until these floodwaters recede exactly how it will impact this construction project here. In Dallas County, Cynthia Fodor, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
And now we check in with Chief Meteorologist John McLaughlin. We had a wild weather day yesterday. Clearly, we do not need any more rain. So what do the next few hours look like for us, John?
Well, certainly there will be some precipitation, mainly sliding on in from the western counties and down into central Iowa, mainly southern Iowa, though, for the risk of some of that heavier rainfall. Outdoors right now, 77 degrees. Winds out of the east-northeast. The dew point's down a little bit, 67 from what we had earlier. And as we head through the next several hours, temperatures will continue to be in the 70s. Those scattered thunderstorms possible on into the evening hours and through about midday tomorrow. Now, this is an impressive graph because it really shows what happened last night. Look at the rainfall totals from you get into Carroll and especially Greene County, so kind of up toward the start of the Raccoon River system, down through Panora, south side of the metro, down through Knoxville, Ottumwa, Centerville. So this is going to take a lot of time to deal with. We have millions of cubic feet of water to deal with here, certainly. And you can see a general amount of anywhere from 6 to 8 inches, a few spots on the radar, even higher than that. Now, our SchoolNet sites keep track of some of this as well. Very impressive totals. When we get very heavy, in fact, torrential rainfall, these sites underreport by 10 to 20%, so you can add that to these. But look at that, anywhere 3 to 5 inches across some of our SchoolNet sites in western and southern Iowa. Again, look at the big picture. Out to the west, there's thunderstorms that are moving more to the east-southeast. So if you just kind of follow that trajectory, most of those are going to skim down across areas of southern Iowa. So we'll watch throughout the evening hours, but right now the threat for the torrential kind of rains we saw last night, very low. In fact, most of southern Iowa right now dry, the exception in the far southwest, a few storms still there. That boundary that caused us all the trouble last night is sunk back down south into areas of northern Missouri. Temperature-wise, we're in the 70s. Cloud cover across the region, keeping us from seeing those temperatures get much above about 75, 76 degrees. So here's the frontal system, which pushed south last night. It'll actually lift back north just a little bit tomorrow, and we'll see those showers and thunderstorms along it, and then we'll dry things out a little bit for late Friday and through the first part of Saturday. So for tonight, showers across about the southern third to half of the state. Most of the heavier rain confined to about the last 1 to 2 rows of Iowa counties. And then more hit and miss during the afternoon tomorrow. Winds will be northerly, and that will keep the moisture from being quite as high as what we saw during the night last night. So forecast for tonight, cloudy, thunderstorms developing overnight, especially southern Iowa, 66 degrees. Then through the day tomorrow, temperatures in the upper 70s, a few showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon. Heading on into Saturday, a dry day. Storm chances move back in late Sunday and on into the very early morning hours of Monday. Then it looks like for the most part a dry week with just very slim chances for rain.
Thank you, John. Supreme Court decision, the historic ruling on Obamacare, handed down today from the highest court in the land. And we continue to watch river levels and monitor road closures across central Iowa. Steve Carlin is live along the Raccoon River tonight. He'll have an update for us next.
Welcome back to KCCI 8 News. Steve Carlin live along 63rd Street in West Des Moines at the 63rd Street Bridge over the Raccoon River. We've been watching this river go up as we've been here. It's kind of a slow rise in the river, but we do want to show you some amazing video that came into the newsroom today. Just unbelievable stuff. Drones capturing the rising rivers across central Iowa. This is a look at Walnut Creek near 63rd and Grand. Now, 63rd Street was closed for a time, and those floodgates were down because there was water over the road. But the video just unbelievable, and other videos shot today before the river started to go down. So some really incredible images for us to look at there from drones. Now downstream on the Raccoon River, they are watching the river rise at Fleur Drive, and it's creating some traffic problems. That's where we check in with KCCI's Kim St. Ange. She's there live.
Steve, I'm here near George Flagg Parkway and Floor Drive, and this is where crews spent quite a bit of time earlier this afternoon putting up that 14-foot aluminum gate closure along with those sandbags to prevent the water from the Raccoon River from spilling over there onto George Flagg Parkway. Right now, the water level is sitting at just under 18 feet. Flood stage is 12. It's expected to crest at 23 feet by later on tomorrow around 1 o'clock, so that has already started to spill onto Floor. That's why it is closed now from MLK to Bell. Well, this flooding is also affecting Waterworks Park. The crews there have put up several gates to block the water from spilling out into other areas. We're told that that area could be closed for another week or so, waiting for that water to recede back. I do want to mention that crews have also been working very hard to protect the water treatment plant there in Waterworks Park. We caught up with the CEO of Waterworks Park, Bill Stowe, and here's what he had to say about that.
We're confident that we're going to be able to protect our critical facilities here. People have other things to worry about right now than whether they're going to be able to turn on the tap and get water. That will happen.
More thing about Floor Drive, we were just told minutes ago from someone with the Des Moines Public Works that this area, this stretch again from Bell to MLK on Floor, could be closed either through Sunday or Monday. As far as that River Banks Bash that was scheduled for Waterworks Park here on Saturday, that has since been moved. They're hoping not to cancel, but are still trying to figure out where they're going to move that. Of course, we're going to have that information for you as soon as possible and bring that to you. We want to go ahead and send it back to Steve.
All right, KCCI's Kim St. Ange live along Floor Drive. We have other news tonight to tell you about. High drama at the Supreme Court as justices rule on the legality of tax subsidies in the Affordable Care Act. With Chief Justice John Roberts leading the way, the court today in a 6-3 ruling upheld the subsidies that help millions of Americans buy health insurance. Now, those who filed the challenge said the way the law was written, the tax credits should only go to people who live in the states that had set up their own health insurance marketplaces.
The rule of law is all about black words on a white piece of paper. It's what the actual language says. That's the only thing as an American you can count on is actual law.
The Supreme Court and various justices have said you can't look at 4 words out of context, that we have a responsibility to look at the law as a whole.
In the majority opinion, Chief Justice John Roberts writes, quote, Congress passed the Affordable Care Act to improve health insurance markets, not to destroy them. Justice Antonin Scalia quipped, we should start calling this SCOTUS care. Republicans vow to continue the fight to repeal and replace the law in Congress. In South Carolina, mourners are paying their respects to those murdered during Bible study at Emmanuel AME Church last week. President Obama will travel to Charleston tomorrow to eulogize one of the victims. State Senator Clementa Pinckney. Marley Hall has the story.
Through tears, mourners said goodbye to Ethel Lance.
She was a victim of hate, and she can be a symbol for love. That's what she was in life.
Not far away, another funeral service for 45-year-old Sharonda Coleman Singleton.
Anytime we have that type of angel in our midst, then we have to be happy.
The women were among 9 people killed during Bible study at the historical black church last Wednesday.
There will be 7 more sad goodbyes in the next week, and some people here in the Charleston area will pay their respects at more than one.
The body of State Senator Clementa Pinckney was returned to his hometown church in Ridgeland for the last time. Later this evening, a second viewing for Pinckney will take place at Emmanuel AME Church. Marley Hall, CBS News, Charleston, South Carolina.
President Obama will eulogize State Senator Pinckney tomorrow in South Carolina. And as we continue to watch and monitor the floodwaters, a lot of you are sending us your photos. Take a look at this from Matt in Waukee. Very full rain gauge, almost 8 inches there. And here's an aerial shot sent to us from Justin. This was taken over 63rd and Grand. No swimming in the pool today, apparently, in Guthrie Center. No, there's a lot of water in the pool, and it's not swimming pool water necessarily. Send us your photos right now. Make sure to upload them to our website, kcci.com. Okay, Big Brother fans, a lot of you are wondering about this last night. KCCI plans to rebroadcast Wednesday's episode of Big Brother tomorrow morning at 1:37 a.m. Make sure to set your DVR. This will not appear in the television listing, so you will have to do a manual recording of that episode. There's still time to check out the 33rd Annual Blood Donor Day. KCCI viewers asked to donate units of blood to help save lives. Our Valley West location has been running since 11 o'clock this morning. It's open until 7 o'clock tonight. LifeServe Blood Center volunteers are there to get you signed up and help you donate. Last year we had more than 750 donors. We're looking to match that, or better yet, top that. One donor tells KCCI he's attended our drive for more than 24 years.
I always feel better after I donate, not just because it's a good thing to do, I just physically feel better.
And if you donate, you do receive a free t-shirt and a snack. And again, there's just under 2 hours left to check out that blood drive at Valley West Mall. We'll be right back.
Steve Carlin back live along 63rd Street and on the West Des Moines side. The Raccoon River is right there, and it's rising slowly. But the thing that we're really watching is if you see that heavy equipment down there, they are getting ready to extend the levee here just south of Railroad Avenue across Highway 28, 63rd Street, if necessary. They have the equipment in place if the water does come up that high that it could threaten the road. So the Raccoon River still rising. We are watching this very closely. We've been talking with everybody who can give us the latest information, and we'll continue to have that for you coming up at 6. Let's go back to Stacy and meteorologist John McLaughlin in the studio.
All right, Steve, and we don't need any more rain.
Yeah, scattered showers, mainly southern Iowa for any heavier rain tonight.
CBS Evening News is next. We'll be back at 6.